Hello. I don't know if I can explain this adequately, but on the instructions for the timing of the jack shaft, it says that when it's on top dead center, there's a mark on this thing that has to be pointing down here like this. It's actually pointing up there, but the rotor arm is pointing over there, which is for the number 2 cylinder. That's the number 2 cylinder there, so that's okay. And I thought about it, well, I don't want to retime all the jack shaft, and then I thought about it, and although if you look at the number of teeth on there and the number of teeth on there, or let's say look at the relative diameters of that, and that runs faster than cam speed. It runs somewhere in between crank and cam speed. So there must be a further reduction here, but neither 1:1 nor 2:1 to get 2:1 here. I haven't seen these parts. I don't want to take it out. I don't want to lose the timing. I think that if I was to turn this crank a number of turns, either 1 or 2 turns or 3 turns or something like that, eventually this line will line up, and that's where you would set it initially. But on every turn it won't necessarily be in the same place, because it's neither 1:1 nor 2:1. Okay, so I'm just going to forget about that, because I'm sure it will come right if I was prepared to turn the engine. I want to avoid turning the engine because I've had a problem here where this popped off. This one is really tight, so I want to slacken that adjuster. Okay, so what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for all the parts to come in, Dean's ordered the parts, is I'm going to tidy that table up and then assemble the first head. As always, I will bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. Pardon me. I haven't filmed very much because I have struggled a little bit. It was very difficult to get the things back in. Now these ones aren't in. I thought I'd leave these last ones, but I found the easiest way is to use gravity to help you, and by just clamping the head to the bench and having it sticking out, I've been able to get these done. I struggled with the first 2, and then I've used this different method and done okay. So I thought I'd just set the thing up, and you'll kind of see what the idea is. So just this last one we're doing. I've took my gloves off because they were tearing. I didn't want bits of rubber to go in the job, so I've just took the gloves off. Ah, you bugger, come on. That's it. Okay, that one's in. Good. I'm just going to give it a little wipe over, and then I will oil it up and put the cam in. Now, very importantly, you mustn't have it clamped flat to the table when you put the cam in, because the cam will create an interference as it presses down. pretty neat, isn't it? So watch, oops. The spring's too far and then you can't get the spanner out. Okay. And that there is aligned with the mark. That's how the head needs to be fitted with it, exactly like that. But I'll go through and measure the clearances. I won't bother filming that because it could take quite a while. I need to look up the numbers and everything. Okay, but anyway, that's a good bit of progress there. Not looking too bad. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. Guess what? All the tappets need reshimming. I've turned the camera around, and when the lobes are up like those, I've measured them, and one of the 8 is just about in tolerance. A couple, well, I'll show you the numbers. So if we just call that one number 1 and then work back to number 8, these are the numbers. That's what it's supposed to be, 16 to 18, and that one's 14. So if you go to mid tolerance, that's 3 thou down. That's supposed to be 6 to 8 and it's 0.005. So that's, I said -2 to the midpoint. Same there, 0.005, -2. That one's 16 thou and it wants to be 16 to 18, so it's actually okay. Just. That one's 14 thou, so it's 3 thou down on its target. That one's 2 thou, so it's 5 thou down. It's 2 thou, and it should be 6 to 8. That one's 5 thou, so it's just 2 down. That one's 12 thou, so it's 5 thou down on a target of 16 to 18. You know, using 17 as the midpoint. So that's a problem because that means all the valves are going to need reshimming. So I'm going to have to pull the cam again, measure all the shims. I should have done that as a precaution before I put them in. Again, I'm on a learning curve. If I'd have measured the shims, I'd have known where we are. Again, my inexperience with these sort of motors shines through, doesn't it? Okay, so they all need reshimming except for one. I need to get all the shims out, measure them, keep them in order and measure them, write down the numbers and work out the sizes I need, and then see if any of the shims cover the sizes I need, so they can be sort of written off as okay, and then shims ordered for the sizes that are remaining. And ideally I should do it on the other side as well. Hey ho, the fun never stops, does it? Let's bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. I'm stripping down the left hand head. I've got all the valves there. I used a similar technique with it hanging over the bench and just using the compressor there, and it worked really well, to be honest. Now bear in mind, this is the head that we didn't actually intend to take off when we started the job, but I'm glad we did, because you can see there's a lot of mess. The seat isn't very good. It'll clean up, I'm sure it'll clean up, but it isn't very good. And there's a couple of others that are a bit where the valves didn't really want to come out. The exhaust valves on this side appear to be not great, so this all needs cleaning up. That's the number 8. Inlet looks alright. That inlet was the one that was in the messy cylinder, and that's the exhaust from that cylinder, so that one's a mess. These all need cleaning. That all needs cleaning. Then I need to reassemble it and check the clearances. Okay, so pretty straightforward stuff. I'll just do these on a wire brush, and then I'll do that with wire brushes and things, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I've been working away, haven't been filming. I cleaned all the valves, they came out nice. I've been working away because I want to get it back together so I can find out what shims we need, so that Dean can order the shims. This is my working setup with it clamped there and sticking out. So to do these four, I'm going to turn it round and put it a different way around so I can do the others. Okay, I'll get the other four in then, and then I'll measure the valve clearances. This is the table from when I did the valve clearances yesterday. That one was at 14, it needs to be at 16 to 18, so I said -3, and it had a 097 in it, so I need a 094, and there was one there, so this is my diagram. I'll take that one and put it there. This 097, see that 099 in that one, look, it's 5 there, it wants to go 6 to 8, so I'll swap that 097 into there. So that's what you do, you kind of swap them around and then you find out what you still need. According to this, I need a 091, an 091, an 093 and an 093. I stripped down the second side, this side here, that side, and I've measured the things, and there's some 091s in there, 091, 091, 091. So I've got a couple of 091s. So I've got 3 actually, so I've got 091s. So I've got 2 of them. So, you know, it's just an iteration of going through. My problem was I wasn't getting good readings because the valves hadn't seated. And that's why I'm cleaning the valves, cleaning the head, reassembling the valves, and then I'll go through and measure the clearances again. Okay, back in a bit then. Hello. I've been working on the left-hand cylinder head, and I started to do a little bit differently than I was doing it. I had all the shims laid out on here and I got them mixed up, so in the end I just jumbled them all up and said, okay, I'll start from scratch. So I rigged up this thing here to measure the shims. That should read 94. Yeah, okay, within a thou. So that's just less than the 5, so that's a 94. It reads 0 to 100. This one should be a 99. Hang on. Yeah, that's a 99, look. So then I looked at what I wanted for the left-hand cylinder, and number 2, 3, 4 and 6 were okay, so I haven't touched those, but here I put a so I had a 97, so I put that in, that one, look, so I had a 97 there, so I put that one in on number 1, and then on number 5 I put a 95, that went to L5, and that one measured okay. On number 7 I wanted a 93, and I hadn't got a 93, I'd got a 94, but there's something wrong somewhere because I've just measured that and it's come out at 12 thou. So I need to measure the shim again and then make a change and see if I've got one that will fit. And this one came out okay, number 8 came out okay, 16th thou. So I'm going to get the shim out of this one. I've just took the cam out again, and I'm going to get the shim out, which is in here. I think the problem is when you have a bit of an indentation like that. I don't think this one's particularly bad though. Let's see what this measures. Measuring on the back side, that's 95. Measuring on the indentation, it's about 93, 94. So let's put that back there. So that's 94. So we need 6 more, don't we? Because the gap's too big, so we need to close the gap up because we want it down to 6 to 8. So here's a 99 here. I don't think I've got 100. No, there's a couple. See, that one's badly indented. This one's not too bad. So we'll try this one. You know, it'd be great if you could just have like tray upon tray upon tray of these of all different sizes. But I thought if I can get one head done, I can look at fitting it. That felt a little bit, didn't feel very nice the way that slid in there, so I'll pull it out again and clean everything and reassemble, put the cam back in and check the clearance on that. And I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, I'll put it back together. This is the one we're interested in. I've just checked it. 1/8 thou there, look, that goes just about goes. 9 thou doesn't. Okay, so yeah, that's alright. If I got 100 thou, I'd have put it in, but I hadn't. I got a 99. But that's alright. These are all okay now. They're all within tolerance. So I'm going to leave this head at this. I'll torque those. They're tight but not torqued, so I'll torque them to the correct value and just give it a little wash and a dry and call it good. Righto, that head's done. I'm still waiting for some parts to come in before I can start to reassemble. Some parts have arrived. Various things here, look, gaskets, water pump gaskets, head gaskets, rocker cover gaskets, seals, exhaust studs, spark plugs, inlet gaskets, some bolts, some washers, exhaust gaskets. So yeah, plenty of things to keep going with. I'll get the other head then and have a iteration of shimming on that then and see what I can see where I get, because it might be that we need to order some more shims. I tried to do it theoretically, but I don't think that's going to be good enough. I think we're going to have to order some more shims. But according to all the instructions, that head is the first one to go on. In other words, the head that goes on this side is the first one to go on. Another thing I can do is the clearance of the water pump. Check that. Well, we're getting a new crank seal and various bits, and in that big box there, in this big box is a new petrol tank. So that'll be interesting. Okay, righto, I just thought I'd show you what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. You turn the cam using this hex here, so it's not too difficult. Okay, righto, let's keep cracking on then, doing what I can, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I just undid these things here. The temp sender, which I think I broke the thing because I didn't realise it was connected when I lifted the head off. Anyway, there's a new one of those on the way. And the water outlet. That was pretty tight, to be honest. We thought we'd get new ones, you know, to save problems in the future. You can see how badly corroded it is. That's for the heater. So those are out. I'm just sort of recording this because I know that one goes there and the temp sender goes there. Okay, right. I torqued up these. I had to get my old bending beam torque wrench that I had when I was 16. That was able to read 15 pounds-feet okay. So there we go, there's the head ready to go back on. Might be some optional cleaning before it goes on, but it's ready to go on. Okay, righto. As always, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, that's the right hand head. I only have the correct shims for 2 valves, but I know the sizes that I need for the other 6. So I'm going to ask Dean to order those, and I will divert my attention to somewhere else now. I'm not sure where, but that's been quite a job. So yeah, coming along well. Okay, well, that's it for today. Had a good session today. Some more parts have arrived. There's a dog there, look. Hello, Rube. Good girl. She wonders who I'm talking to. Some head studs, because we had some broken head studs, didn't we? Some new head nuts. And some nuts for the exhaust studs as well. So that's, yeah, and there's a temp sender. So that's good. That was quite funny actually. I'll just show you. These are the exhaust studs that I took out from this side, the first side I did, which was the difficult side where you got to reach up. And I wondered why I couldn't get on with a 1/2 inch and I couldn't get on with a 13mm. That's because they're 5/16 BSF. That's why the thread got sort of gnarled up when I ran a UNC die down it. Anyway, in amongst those parts are new exhaust manifold studs, so we've got those. So these are scrap, and there was a BSF. There was a strange BSF bolt somewhere else as well on the coil bracket, so they'll all get replaced with the proper sizes. I've always been very nerdy or geeky, whatever the word is, about bolts and threads, and we can put all this right now. Okay, right, anyway, taking shape and looking good, getting a little bit more optimistic about things. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed following along. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello, it's another day in the garage. The heads are prepared as much as I can. I'm waiting for some shims for that one. I thought I would look at taking that gasket off there and see if I can measure the clearance on the water pump. Preparations for starting to put things back together, hopefully. I'll get a scraper and get this off and see what we can see. Okay, back in a bit. Hello, I've cleaned the mating faces and put the bolts in, and I've gone around with a feeler, and I've got kind of 10th thou here, 8 there and 12 there, so I'm just going to call that 10th thou. And it says what you need to do, I'll show you in the book. Using feeler gauges, measure the gap, then select gaskets equal to this amount plus 10 to 25 thou. Anyway, I just measured the gaskets, rather. These are supposed to be 20 thou and they're more like 14. That one said 30 thou, and it was actually close to 30 thou, about 28. And the 10 thou was 10 thou. So I've selected a 10 thou and a 20 thou that's more like 14. So that's give me round about 24 thou. So I should have about 14 thou clearance. So try and get it without the glare, yeah. So about 24 thou, so that's all right. So there we are. Those are the gaskets for there. I won't put it on yet because I want to paint the block. But I've cleaned the bolts, and I've loosened that in preparation. There, that's 22mm or 7/8, and so that is ready to go back on. So I'll take this off again and I'll just attach those to it and call it good. It's nice to get to the point where we can start looking at putting things back together again. I've cleaned the block up again, blown it out, vacuumed it. I've just washed that top deck with brake cleaner, and I'm just going to put a little bit of black paint on it, just so that it looks better when it all goes back together. Not going mad, we understand this isn't a restoration, it's just a functional repair of the car, the known fixed problems. Okay, so I'll bring you back when I'll finish painting that. You don't need to see me painting it. Okay, back in a little bit. Oh, I've cleaned all these threads out, all the threads. I've put a thread cleaning tap through them, those threads there as well. I've cleaned up the thread on the bolts. So yeah, so I'm working my way towards being able to think about fitting the head, one of the heads. I need a new crank pulley seal, which hopefully should be arriving soon. So I will I'll get a little bit of paint on it. I just fitted that new temp sender there, new temp sensor, and I just ran this 5/8 UNF tap through that port there, because that's where that heater outlet was, and it was tight all the way out, and there was a lot of rust and rubbish that came out with it. Just kind of logging what I'm doing, you know, just for posterity. I went in and scraped the gasket surface down there. Just tried to clean that off as best as I can, and I use the vacuum cleaner to stop any bits falling into the sump. Same on this side. Down there. All the bolt threads look okay. Right, okay, little bit by bit, inch by inch, we're edging closer. Righto. Okay, back in a bit then. I've given the thing a rudimentary clean, just get the worst of it off. It was very dirty under there and under there. I don't want to spend too much time cleaning stuff, but that's looking okay. I've knocked the seal out, so when the new seal comes that can go in. I don't know the best way to proceed, and I suppose I'll just have to muddle my way through, and if it doesn't work I'll just have to take it off and muddle through it a different way. If you were just working on the heads, you'd take the heads off and you wouldn't disturb the timing chain. Problem is I have disturbed the timing chain, so I've got the things retracted, so I need to release the timing chain things, the tensioners. Now the thing is, when you look at the instructions for assembling the engine, you put this head on, you put the manifold on, then you put that head on, and they don't even put the timing chain cover on. You have to slide it in. Well, I don't think that's going to be very good. Hang on a minute, I need to do something. Hello. Here's the inlet manifold. It's upside down, the intake manifold. I was talking to the owner, Dean, and he said that they sanded these things. It wasn't skimmed. So I'm wondering how flat the surfaces are and how flat to each other they are. So I've got this surface plate here. It's a decent surface plate, that is. And I've got 2 bits of emery cloth on there. And I used a marker pen and kind of, you know, marked up the faces. And I've given them a rub back and forth. And to be honest, they're not too bad. You can see this one has contact all around this water thing. What you can sort of sense is that it's chamfers off at any edge. All the edges are chamfered. And I could feel that when I was scraping it. It's chamfered, definitely chamfered there. I can feel it with my finger. Now, if that was a light contact there, it would leak out. It wouldn't leak into there. As long as there's good contact all around here. And likewise this side, this doesn't look too bad. Again, it's heavily chamfered there. I mean, it's not too, it's chamfered here, definitely chamfered there. But again, that wouldn't cause a water leak. Might cause a vacuum leak, but not a water leak. These are the front cylinders, this end. Yeah, that's definitely chamfered there. The only other thing I don't know is, are these at 90 degrees to each other? It's very hard for me to tell. The other thing that makes it a little bit difficult is this little bit here sticks down below that surface there, so it's harder to rub these two on the thing. I'm just contemplating whether to set it up on the milling machine and just take the faintest of skims to get me back to a surface, or just keep going on here. At least on here it's on a known flat surface, flat to the tolerances that we need to deal with. I'll give it another couple of rubs. Okay, I'll bring you back in a bit. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage once more. Working on the Stag. What a surprise. Another little package arrived, and in that package was this front seal. So that's fitted. Just tapped it in. I put a block of wood underneath just to support it there, you know, so I don't dent the housing. So I think I'm going to refit the front cover. Before I do that, I've got to fit the gaskets, release the chain tensioners. Look, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, and make sure everything's clean. But yeah, I'm gonna fit the front cover, because I would never have took the front cover off. I believe these are aligned to the heads, and I believe everything's in time. So I'll work on that, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I made a little thing out of a piece of welding wire, and I replaced it with this. It's like a hard rubber thing. So I've just took these out from behind there, and then I've pushed that in, and it's popped out to there now, and I've done the same on the one that's behind as well, that other one there. So those chains are now got the tensioner on. I'm hoping that they don't come out any further. So in theory I should be able to put the front cover on, but I just cut these from a piece of 2mm rubber. That's all I've got. I ran the sonic cleaner yesterday, and I cleaned these bolts. I'm going to wire wheel them now, so they'll be ready, and I'll wire wheel all the bolts for the front thing. Unfortunately, I appear to have lost one of these washers. So I'll have to either improvise or make one, because I'm not going to wait for another order to come in for just for a single washer. Okay, righto. Let's get these bolts cleaned up then. This is the weapon of choice, this wire wheel. If you haven't got one of these, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I've had this one for ages. Could probably do with replacing, to be honest, but they are very good. But it does make a lot of mess, so you mustn't have anything that's sensitive in this area. I do all my wire wheeling and grinding on this vise here in this little side shed. Okay, anyway, I'll get those bolts cleaned up. Back in a bit. I've took the gaskets that arrived, those gaskets, and put a bit of Hylamar on them. I've just put them in place. There's one, there's another, and there's another one on that side as well. So I'm hoping I can get the timing cover in place now. I've sorted all the bolts out, so I think I'm going to try and leave the bolts in place, to be honest, having sorted them all out. I've used the one there to check the gasket. I'll just give this a little wipe out on the inside and put some grease on the seal, and then I can put this back on. Okay, back in a bit. There's the cover, ready to go back on. I've put some Hylamar on the sump flange area, put some grease on the seal, and I've put Hylamar on all the back edges. Just using a 1/4 inch ratchet, not forcing anything. Okay, that's good. I'm quite happy with that. That seems to have gone on okay. I wouldn't have fancied doing that while trying to slide it under the head gasket though. Okie dokie. Good. I've changed my mind from using 2 gaskets. I can put a single 30 thou gasket on and that'll still be intolerant, so I'm going to do that. Let's do this again. Put the new thing in. I'll put some copper slip on these threads. Okay. Actually, that's the inlet. That's the inlet, isn't it, to the engine? Because that goes to the bottom hose. For the want of anything better to try and do, I've put a little bit of Hylamar around where the water things go, and around there where the oil's got to go, and just around all the general holes. I haven't put anything on the combustion. I'll scrape that off there. I'll just scrape those clean where I've gone onto the combustion area, because I don't want anything on there. Yeah, and I've got to make sure that the cam is timed when I put it on, otherwise there'll be a clash. For instance, if that piston was up, for instance, that valve would clash. And I've fitted that as well. That's the thing. I've put a bit of copper slip on the threads and a bit of Hylamar on the copper washer, but it should be okay. Would have probably been alright without anything. Okay, so a little bit of scrapey there, and then double check the cylinders are clean, align the cam, and then drop it on. I've cleaned all the threads, I've cleaned the bolts, a set of bolts, well, all the bolts. I might just put a bit of Hylamar around that area there. Oh, there's a gasket there I need to trim. Yeah, I need to trim that little gasket there. Glad I put my finger there because I just felt that. Righto. Okay, yeah, a little bit by bit it's coming together. Okay, back in a bit. I put a bit of Hylamar on to kind of hold it up because it's sitting a bit low. I've got the studs in here, but it's not holding it. I'll have to just put my finger underneath and push it up before I tighten everything down. I'll put a stud in one of the front holes. It's going to have to do. Right, I'm coming in with the head now. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. That's down on the gasket. Hopefully I can take this stud out. So there's a fair bit of movement on the head, but I think when you put the studs in it, it locates it a bit better. Okay, good. I've never done a Stag engine before, you must understand that. So I think what I'm going to do is put copper slip on the bolts. I'll put the studs in as well. I'll put the studs in. Let's put the studs in. On one of the studs I stretched the thread. So I've selected these 5 to use on this side because I damaged at least 2. So I'm putting the threads like that and seeing if they engage fully. If they don't, you know you've stretched the thread. These are all engaging fully. I've just checked them over there. I think the one that stretched actually ended up being one of the ones that broke. So, but these can all go in here now. I'm going to put copper slip on them. Well, that's gone in nice by hand now, so I think it is aligned okay. That can just sit there now. I won't tighten it up too tight. I'm talking about down here. I won't tighten it up too tight because you've got to be able to get the other bolt in on that washer there. That washer, you see, that tab washer thing. Then I can put the other bolt in and tighten them both. But I've got to put the other head on first. What you don't want to do is fumble it and drop the nut down in the oil pan. Okay, I think at that point there it's a time to take a break, purely because I've had a good session and I haven't got the other head ready yet. Got to do some more shimming on the other head. The only other things that could go on in the meantime is the front pulley and the radiator, but I might as well. I could put the front pulley on, that would be useful because I could turn the engine with the bolt then. But I will have a break right now. I'm going to have a cup of tea and a little something to eat, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I'll come back out a bit later and do a bit more. Okay, righto. That's quite a big step, isn't it, getting the head on? And this was the one that we had to use a jack to remove it. Okay, righto. All good stuff, isn't it? At least it's coming back together now. 2 components back on, 3 components on. Front cover, water pump cover, left hand cylinder head. Okay, right. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. That's 1.5 hours on that video, but a lot of it was walking around looking for tools, so hopefully it'll be a bit shorter than that when I edit it. Okay, cheers then, catch you in a bit, bye.